Alright, what's good everyone? Before we jump into everything that's happened with the new update, I want to clear one thing up first. For everyone who had the dragon fruit before the update, don't panic, we're getting the new dragon fruit, so nothing has been lost. I know there was some confusion earlier, but I just want to make sure that's crystal clear. So now that's settled, let's dive into everything else. So I'm sure by now you've all seen the latest dragon update that's finally rolled out. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this moment, and honestly, so was I. After all the teasers, the excitement surrounding it, I was beyond ready to hop into the game and see all the cool changes. But just like with any update, things didn't go exactly as planned. I want to give you all the full story, so let's rewind to this morning. So I woke up excited to check out the new features, just like here. My heart skipped a beat. I couldn't wait to see what was in store, but as soon as I jumped into the game, something strange happened. My dragon fruit was completely gone, and in that place, I saw tokens. At first, I had thought something wrong, maybe some kind of glitch, but I was seriously confused. I didn't understand what's going on. I had been waiting for this update for so long, and now I was left with tokens instead of the fruit I had worked hard for. Actually, I wasn't only the one having this issue, so immediately jumped into Discord to see if anyone else was dealing with the same thing. And let me tell you, my notification was blowing up. The community was full in chaos. People were asking the same question I had. Where's my dragon fruit? Why did I have the token instead? It was clear that the update wasn't quite as smooth as everyone had hoped. But don't worry, this wasn't just random bug. Hands out, it was entirely unexpected. The dev had been under some serious pressure to roll out the two huge update before the end of the year. There was a lot of balance, and it wasn't no easy task. After all, we're talking about major update. And this is a big game with a lot of players relying on these features. But sometimes in this rush to get everything done on time, things don't go as perfectly as planned as you can imagine. And to celebrate the release of Dragon Rework update, I'm giving away permanent fruits and game passes to everyone who simply drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and spam your username and permanent fruit that you want in the comment section below. So the devs originally wanted to release this update as part of Christmas content around things like their new mobile controls and chromatic skins, and let me tell you, those features are still on the way. We're going to get them, and I think they're going to be fantastic, but as it turns out, they couldn't quite get everything finishing time. They had to make decision, either the release update incomplete or wait longer, or given how much hype had already built up around this update, they chose to release what they had, even though it wasn't perfect, and that's where the issue was with the dragon's fruit and token came into play. Now, I know you really want to know is what's going to happen with the dragon tokens, so here's the breakdown. The developers didn't just add these features randomly. There was a real plan behind everything that was implemented. But the problem was how things were actually rolled out. The implementation was broken in some places, and it led to a lot of confusion. But here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about the two dragons in the game. Why did we get two dragons? The reason is simple. I'll explain more detail. The dev wants to offer players a choice of two different fruit options. They kept it classy, dragon in the game for players who wanted to keep it for fun, but when you combine that with the broken options that were introduced, it just caused more confusion. Some players were stuck with the old dragon fruit, while others ended up with the tools they didn't even want. If you're like me, you couldn't even figure out what happened to your fur fruit at first. It was a complete mess, and I admit it was a bit of a frustrating experience for many. But I got some good news for all of you guys. The dev are aware of the problems and they're fixing it. The next patch, which should be coming out tonight, will make everything right again. If you had purchased a permanent dragon before the update, then get ready for a treat. You won't need to buy anything else to unlock either the western or the eastern dragon. It will be yours automatically. That means you'll get the new permanent dragon for free. The devs don't want anyone to feel like they lost something they paid for. I mean, I don't think any of us want to feel like they were being taken advantage of, especially when we spent money on something. So this is a nice way to make it right. But there's more to it. For those of you who had a physical dragon fruit before the update, you're not being left out. There's something special upgrade in the works just for you. Everyone who had a physical dragon before, the update would be getting an upgraded version of that dragon, so you'll have the option to choose between the eastern or the western dragon for no extra purchase required. Pretty sweet, right? Now, if you had an extra copy of the dragon fruit, don't worry, you're covered as well. Those extra fruit will automatically be converted into different mythical fruits. This means you'll still get something valuable out of all your purchase. The dev understand that some players rush to get dragon faster than the patch could be released, and they want to make sure everyone is rewarded fairly. So in addition to that, your already purchase, you will be getting some valuable items to make up for confusion. Dev aren't leaving anyone in the dust. Now for those of you who are still confused about tokens, don't worry, you're not alone. The developers recognized their Dragon token convert buttons were super confusing, so to make things easier, they removed those options entirely as well as the old plastic dragon fruit. The goal here is simplify their process and make sure everyone can get the new dragon fruit without any more issues. And remember, the game is a huge game with tons of moving parts. These updates are complicated and making changes on the fly takes time. The devs are working around the clock to make sure everything gets fixed and they're not resting until it's right. Right, I think that's covered everything you need to know. So stay tuned, because even with all the chaos, dev team's still pushing forward working on their new update and fixing all the problems that popped up. Thanks for all your patience, your understanding and your support.